Neo-classical age, also called Augustan age. इनको pseudo classicals भी बोलते हैं, फर्जी classicals. How to look like a scholar? That restoration literature is vulgar. Enough of this vulgarity. Augustans क्यों बोलते हैं इनको? So point to be noted. What I want to say that not everybody is happy with the cheap content in restoration, right? Okay, so let's go for our topic today. Neoclassical age. Also called Augustan age. Timing 1702, 1744. 45 भी कर दो, कोई बड़ा ऐसा कुछ हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है. 1745 भी कर सकते हैं. नॉर्मली 44 होता है. 44, 45 doesn't matter. These are not some scientifically proved dates that okay only 1744. No, एक दो साल आगे पीछे होगा चलेगा, right? Because Alexander Pope died 1744. So it is said that the mark of ending of neoclassical age starts with 1744. Pope died. So you can say because 1745 से pre-romantic start होता है, you can take it like that. Now point, before we go for neoclassical age, restoration का थोड़ा सा reference ले लेते हैं दोबारा से. What kind of literature was restoration age? Artificial literature. And what was the theme of most of the writings? Innuendos, sexual innuendos, double entendre, cheap content, and the stories mostly dealing with affairs, seductions, love triangles. There is no pure love story. We can simply say affairs, okay, adultery, ये सब था. And what else? Aristocratic standards, artificial language, satires, parody, lampoons, and some political things, repartees and political things. Now people realize this, the senior writers, because one of them criticized, who criticized restoration writings? Jeremy Collier. आकांक्षा क्या बोला था जेरमी कॉलियर ने? Name of the pamphlet and timing. Then tell me क्या बोला था? 1698 timing बहुत अच्छा है, perfect. A short note on immorality and profaneness of English stage. A short note on immorality and profaneness of English stage. English का जो ड्रामा है, स्टेज है, वो बर्बाद हो गए. Immoral content है, cheap content है. Who criticized? Jeremy Collier. 1698. Point to be noted. This is how you connect. 1698 और यहाँ कितना gap है? 4 years. What I want to say that not everybody was happy with the cheap content in restoration, right? There were people who did not like it. There were people who were raising their voice, and one of the most important evidence we have is this man. 1698, a short note on immorality and profaneness of English stage. Now, point to be noted, just like this man, he was a religious man. There were many others who believed that restoration literature is ruined, spoiled. उनको ये था restoration literature बर्बाद हो गया है. Now, easy thing. Tell me, you meet a kid who is spoiled, who is, who doesn't follow moralities. एक बच्चा जो बिगड़ गया है, what will you do? Classics को introduce करेंगे. I'm taking reference of a बच्चा. You will आकाश से धुलाई करूँगा, पिटाई करूँगा. No, we will question his surroundings and we'll make sure that his surroundings, his readings, everything that gives him knowledge is better, good. उसे बुरी संगति से अच्छी संगति में लाएंगे. We will prick him from bad company and will drop him in good company. The same thing happened here. They realized that restoration literature is vulgar. Enough of this vulgarity. We will make our literature better. And how to make our literature better? We will follow our great fathers, classics. इन्होंने बोला चलो दोबारा से क्लासिक्स को फॉलो करेंगे, ग्रीक क्लासिक्स. जब बच्चा बिगड़ जाता है तो पेरेंट्स उसका स्कूल चेंज करवा देते हैं. एक साथ सारी कंपनी छूट जाती है, दोस्तों सब साइड हो जाता है. तो इन्होंने क्या बोला, स्कूल चेंज करो, लेट्स गो टू क्लासिक्स, because we are writing it and we have spoiled our literature to bring the quality, bring the standard and bring moralities. Let's learn from our seniors, our fathers, ancients and their great classics. When they started copying them, the reason behind this, first, they tried to copy them, but as it was also a commercialized age, they just copied, they just didn't understand the standards. इन्होंने क्या किया, कॉपी करना शुरू किया, ब्लाइंड कॉपी, एंड दैट ब्लाइंड इमिटेशन, इन्होंने क्या किया, इंस्टेड ऑफ लर्निंग, अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड देन राइटिंग, दे जस्ट कॉपीड. दैट्स व्हाई दे आर कॉल्ड नियो क्लासिकल्स. पॉइंट टू बी नोटेड, व्हाई दे आर कॉल्ड नियो क्लासिकल्स. स्यूडो क्लासिकल्स भी बोलते हैं इनको, स्यूडो क्लासिकल्स भी बोलते हैं, फर्जी क्लासिकल्स. फर्जी क्लासिकल्स भी बोलते हैं. शाहरुख खान की मिमिक्री करने से शाहरुख खान तो नहीं बन जाऊंगा मैं. The same thing happened here. They started copying them, that okay, Homer has rhyme scheme, we will have rhyme scheme. Homer talks about big things, we will talk about big things. But the way he talked about big thing, the grandeur of writing, they could not imitate. They copy nahi kar paye. Reason behind this, simply the competition. Point to be noted, neoclassical age is also called the age of newspapers, magazines and periodicals. Neoclassical age जो है ना, मैगजीन्स को पीरियोडिकल्स बोलते थे. नियोक्लासिकल एज इज ऑल्सो नोन एज द एज ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर्स एंड पीरियोडिकल्स. इनका भी मॉडर्न वर्ड है मैगजीन. सो व्हेन एवरीबॉडी वाज राइटिंग, इट वाज द एज ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर, पैम्फलेट्स, देयर वाज अ फ्लड ऑफ पब्लिशिंग हाउस. ये पहली एज है दैट देयर वर लॉट ऑफ राइटर्स एंड लॉट ऑफ पब्लिशर्स. There was a flood of publishing houses. इतने लोग आ गए थे राइटिंग के लिए, लिखने के लिए, हर आदमी पब्लिशर बन गया. क्या होगा अगर बताओ गली गली पब्लिशर हो तो? बस जो भी आए छाप दो. Yes. Why? Because it was the age of enlightenment. All of a sudden, this is also called the Renaissance phase, third Renaissance. Intellectual Renaissance. इसमें क्या होता है, in this particular age, being a scholar, looking like a scholar, it became a fashion. So being a scholar was a fashion, and if you don't, if you are not a scholar, so at least look like a scholar. You getting my point? How to look like a scholar? Chalo, tell me how to dress up like a scholar. Yes, बड़े हैवी स्पेक्स लगाओ, लूज कुर्ताज, जेन्यू स्टाइल, मेस्ड हेयर, ठीक है, एंड शो दैट यू डोंट केयर अबाउट फैशन एंड ऑल. एंड व्हेन यू टॉक, यूज बिग वर्ड्स, या पॉलिटिकली, या इकोनॉमिकली, फाइनेंशियली, फंडामेंटली, बिग वर्ड्स, बस लुक लाइक जेन्यू पीपल. नो ऑफेंस टू जेन्यू पीपल, जस्ट आई एम टेलिंग यू, जेन्यू हैज अ ड्रेस कोड. मैं इंटरव्यू देने गया था, यहाँ पे विमेन कॉलेज है, तो अ गर्ल केम एंड दैट वाज सम वेरी आदिवासी साड़ी ड्रेस, थोड़ा सा इतना गैप था पैर के ऊपर, एंड उन्होंने लकड़ी वकड़ी से कुछ लगाया हुआ था जुड़े में. तो आई थॉट कुछ चंदा मांगने आए, मतलब इंटरव्यू चल रहा है, एंड दैट वाज अ वाइट ड्रेस, एंड उनका जो फाइल थी सर्टिफिकेट वाली, वो भी कोई खादी की थी. तो आई थॉट चंदा मांगने आए कोई, सीरियसली मुझे लगा चंदा मांगने आए, समबडी हैज कम हियर फॉर डोनेशन. फिर पता वो इंटरव्यू देने आई है, तो मैंने कहा फिर इतना ये सब लुक क्यों बनाया. सो आई वॉज नॉट अवेयर ऑफ दीज थिंग्स, दैट दीज लुक्स समटाइम्स मैटर. सो माई अदर फ्रेंड्स वर ऑल्सो देयर फॉर इंटरव्यूज. अरे यार, दे आर कैरिंग जेन्यू स्टैंडर्ड, लुकिंग लाइक अ जेन्यू गाय. तब मुझे समझ में आया कुर्ताज वुर्ताज का क्या मैटर होता है. सो या लुक लाइक, सो इन दिस एज, looking like a scholar was more important than actually being a scholar. Looking like a scholar was more important. So if I have to go for the conference, I will not go in a t-shirt. Look like a scholar. So ये artificial age थी. Copy करना शुरू किया. Everybody was a publisher, so they wanted to just publish and earn. Plus, the way we have WhatsApp group, the way we have chats to express ourselves, Facebook to express ourselves, they had publications. छोटी छोटी बात पे पब्लिशिंग आती थी. How to sip coffee, इस पे पेपर्स हैं. कॉफी कैसे पीनी चाहिए, there is a paper on this. So they were writing on anything, behaviors, how to dress up, how to get your shoes polished, gentleman shoe style, papers पे papers. And why? Because everybody was a writer, everybody was a publisher. Flood of publication houses. ये याद रखना. There's also a question in NET exam. Which age is called the age of circulating libraries? This age. Moving libraries आ गई थी यहाँ पे. Mobile libraries. They would have a big cart, and the big cart would have 1,000 books, 2,000 books, and they would drag it to this village, to that village, and people were allowed to read the books by paying 50 cent, 10 cent. तो moving libraries आ गई थी यहाँ पे. पढ़ना पढ़ाना. And that is the first age where we have first female, educated female people. The blue stocking group. This is the age. यहाँ पे blue stockings भी आ गए. Blue stockings. First group of educated women, literary group. First literary group, blue stocking. First literary group of educated women. So I'm trying to tell you this, that why they're called neoclassicals. Just because they wanted to write anything and get it published, they just started copying classics, but they could not have the standard of classics. जिसने ढंग से पढ़ा होगा, उसके नोट्स पढ़ के आप सिर्फ नोट्स के रट्टे मार सकते हो, आप उसका नॉलेज नहीं ले सकते. जिसने पढ़ के नोट्स बनाए उसका नॉलेज आपसे ज्यादा है. तो क्लासिक्स थे. इन्होंने क्या किया, बस नोट्स ले ली. अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है, लेट्स हैव राइमिंग्स, लेट्स हैव एपिकल स्टाइल, लेट्स हैव सम गुड कंटेंट, बट वेयर इज दैट डेप्थ? दे कुड नॉट हैव इट. नाउ रीजन सिंपली टू गेट इट पब्लिश्ड, टू मेक मनी, टू अटैक ईच अदर. ये भी ऐसा भी नहीं था कि दैट इट वाज ऑल अबाउट मनी. It was also to attack each other. You wrote one pamphlet on me, I wrote another pamphlet on you. Simple. जैसे वॉर चलते थे, आजकल सोशल मीडिया वॉर होते हैं. What's the warriors? Any questions? So did you understand this? Why they're called neoclassicals? They copied classicals, but they could not copy the depth, gravity of that writing. And if they ask you what are those fundamental things they copied from classicals, rules, pattern, rhyme scheme, rules, regulations, patterns, rhyme scheme. क्या copy कर रहे थे? Classicals believed in this thing, that there is a system of writing, pattern of writing. मालिका तुम्हारे लिए क्वेश्चन है, सर विलोबी पैटर्न किसी बुक में कैरेक्टर है? सर विलोबी पैटर्न गूगल करो. WILLOUGHBY, विलोबी पैटर्न, इंपॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टर. करो गूगल. सर विलोबी पैटर्न करो. ये रहा स्पेलिंग. खुद को चेक करते रहो. किस बुक में? द ईगोइस्ट. किसने लिखा था? यस, जॉर्ज मेरेडिथ. जिसने लिखा है डायना ऑफ क्रॉसवेज, द ट्रेजिक कॉमेडियंस. ओके, नाउ अनदर क्वेश्चन. So we have understood why neoclassicals. Now another question is why Augustan age? Augustans क्यों बोलते हैं इनको? So point to be noted. Classical writers, great classical writers, they flourished in the age of Augustus Caesar. Augustus Caesar in Rome. So the best literary age in Roman area, Greek and Roman area, it was under the reign of Augustus Caesar. So these classicals are the Augustans. Actual real Augustans कौन है? Classicals. So they called themselves that we are Augustans. We are the classicals. Now we are the classicals. खुद को classicals बोल रहे हैं. Any questions? Repeating again, the great classical writers, they flourished in the reign of King Augustus Caesar. So whenever you hear this name Augustus Caesar, remember the king who supported art, aesthetics, literature, promoted it, the best king ever for literary development. And these people who got name and fame, Homer, Virgil, during the reign of Augustus Caesar, they were called original Augustans. उनमें से वो लोग जिनको रियल ऑगस्टिन्स बोला जाता है, दे आर रियल क्लासिक्स, दे आर रियल ऑगस्टिन्स. So they call themselves Augustins. That we are the Augustins. Clear? Any questions? No. Okay. So now the third thing. This age is also called age of enlightenment. And as I gave you this as a homework, right? As homework, किसको मिला था ये? Alice is absent. Okay. Anyone else who's prepared with this? Age of enlightenment? Nobody? Fine. See, this age is also called age of enlightenment. Why? This was the age overall development took place. Why? 1707. 1707, yes, Act of Uniformity. When you understand these details, you understand literature. Act of Uniformity formed a union between England, Wales, Holland, Scotland. इन्होंने क्या किया? इंग्लैंड ने दोस्ती कर ली किससे? वेल्स, स्कॉटलैंड, यस, इनको डच बोल दो, सबसे अच्छा है डच. 4 बड़ी कंट्रीज साथ में आ गई. So as you know that they were led by tribals, they were led by Anglo-Saxons, then England was formed, Scotland was formed, Dutch area, Holland. Dutch is called Holland, Netherlands. They all came together. Political alliances, groups, they are very important for surviving. Right now, if you see the current scenario, the way Trump has responded European countries, it seems that European countries may have their own alliance. Chances हैं, क्योंकि NATO में भी सबसे ज़्यादा contribution अमेरिका का है. 33 countries are there in NATO. तो अगर ट्रंप अपनी आर्मी हटा ले NATO से, तो NATO की पावर हाफ हो जाएगी. And European countries are economically strong, even if they are not stronger than America, but they are not less than America. So if all these European countries, they come together, then together they can force Americans to behave. So just like that, Act of Uniformity, as Spain was attacking England, Spain attacked England 1701, 1713, War of Spanish Succession, we have written that. They must have thought that Spain attacked England. What if Spain attacks you, you and you? So better we come together and become Great Britain. So they formed the union in 1707 and the formation of Great Britain takes place. The formation of Great Britain. आकाश समझ में आया ना? अगर बाहर से लड़ना है, स्पेन से लड़ना है, किसी और से लड़ना है, फ्रांस से लड़ना है, जर्मनी was also strong, तो फिर अपनी टीम बनानी पड़ेगी. So they all came together, it became Great Britain. अब ये Great Britain होने के बाद, was it just for defense purposes? It opened the trades, business. अब एक चीज़ सोचो ना, पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, इधर नेपाल, बांग्लादेश, श्रीलंका, सब इंडिया के साथ आ जाए, तो इंडिया छोटी मोटी कंट्री थोड़ी रह जाएगा, सीधा चाइना की टक्कर में आने लग जाएगा. More population, more wealth, more things, a big landscape. So just like that, when these four countries came together, they became strong in their business, in their trade system, cultural development, economic development, and all these things together. It started promoting intellectualism, knowledge. अब ये overall हर field में knowledge है, हर field में. These questions have been asked in assertion reason. That's why I'm explaining this much. अब सारी चीजें आती है तो इंटेलेक्चुअल डेवलपमेंट भी आता है, नॉलेज भी आता है, तो ओवरऑल मल्टीपल डेवलपमेंट हुआ है. व्हाई दिस एज इज कॉल्ड एज ऑफ एनलाइटनमेंट? देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल हु मेड इट स्पेशल. नाउ प्लीज रिमेंबर दिस थिंग, एज ऑफ एनलाइटनमेंट, दिस वर्ड, this for this particular time is applied to complete Europe. So it's not just England or Britain, it's Europe. Overall development. Renaissance बोलते हैं इसको, intellectual renaissance. Called intellectual renaissance. Knowledge, enlightenment, reading, pamphlets. The flood of publishing houses was not just in England, it was everywhere. तो एक तरीके से क्या हुआ, जो इंटेलेक्चुअल डेवलपमेंट है वो ज्यादा हुआ हमारा. अब कुछ एग्जांपल्स लिख लो इसके. एडम स्मिथ, फादर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स. Adam Smith, father of economics. Immanuel Kant. Voltaire. Rousseau. Newton, Isaac Newton. They're all in this age. John Locke, Rousseau, Newton, John Locke, Adam Smith, Immanuel Kant, Voltaire. Thomas Hobbes. First man who studied landscape. Leviathan. आपके टेस्ट पेपर का क्वेश्चन. Thomas Hobbes. Who are these people? ये तो I'm not sure कि किसका सेक्रेटरी था. इस पॉइंट से नहीं देखा उन्हें. Just okay, keep writing. So when you read Age of Enlightenment, make sure that you go for Rousseau, Adam Smith, Immanuel Kant, Voltaire, Newton, Locke, Thomas Hobbes, and some others who developed this age as age of enlightenment. यहाँ तक क्लियर है? Any questions? Okay. For detailed purpose, वैसे तो आएगा नहीं सब पेपर में, but for detailed purpose, if you want to know, Jean-Jacques Rousseau is known for social contract theory. I'll mention this thing in culture studies. Social contract theory. Social contract theory, a group of people choose someone to lead them. That is social contract. According to social contract theory, if you have chosen the government, you yourself have to respect the government. Otherwise, the chosen government doesn't have any value. तो आप खुद मिलके किसी को चुनो कि वो आपको गवर्न करे, उसको सपोर्ट करो. You support the government, government supports you. That is how the society works. So, social contract theory. ठीक है? Isaac Newton, we know about it. This is how the class is going longer. Technically मुझे नहीं पढ़ाना चाहिए सब topic, but ये gravity. So we know him. Isaac Newton, gravity. Point to be noted. Nature's laws laid hid in night. God said, "Let Newton be," and all was light. Nature and nature's laws hid in night. Nature's laws hid in night. God said, let Newton be. Be. And all was light. And all was light. बोलो निष्ठा, क्या मतलब इसका? Night is darkness, ignorance.
Truth about the nature or things about nature were hidden your side, and Newton kind of explored. He was the
God ने न्यूटन को भेजा. Nature and nature's laws laid hidden at people did not know about nature, the laws of nature. But God said, let Newton be. Let's send Newton. Newton को जन्म देते हैं. And all was light. And now we know. And all was light. So gravity's invention, discovery of gravity is one of the biggest thing. बहुत बड़ी चीज है ये. आप धरती से क्यों नहीं उड़ जाते? ग्रेविटी है. डिफरेंट डिफरेंट प्लैनेट्स पे ग्रेविटी है. फिर डिफरेंट डिफरेंट प्लैनेट्स पे ग्रेविटी अलग अलग क्यों है? तो उनका फिर जो भी सिस्टम है, मास, स्पीड, थिंग्स. वो वाला गेम खेला आपने कभी? यू हैव समथिंग हैवी एंड देन यू टेक राउंड्स एंड देन यू थ्रो. हाँ, शॉर्ट पुट. So when you throw it directly, you won't be able to cover a big space, a large space. But when you take round and then you throw, then swing करके. So that's how you defy the gravity. That's how the spaceship works. Mars पे जो भी हमारे spaceship भेजते हैं ना, वो direct नहीं जाते हैं. They go to moon and they take round. So taking the round, the speed gets increased, and then they fire the things and it's directed. So this man, kind of, the first man who contributed in gravity concept. Now, why I wrote this? This is by Alexander Pope, representing age of enlightenment. ये कोई मार्केट गाइड बुक में नहीं मिलेगा, बट ये याद रखना. This is by Alexander Pope, praising Isaac Newton, reference enlightenment. दूसरा, Adam Smith, father of economics, famous book Wealth of Nations. (1776), an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nations. 1776. Full title, short title, Wealth of Nations. Adam Smith. Paper में question है PYQ. Student said toughest question है. No, not toughest. If you're reading Age of Pope, Age of Enlightenment, Age of Augustans, you should know him. लेसिस फेयर का सिद्धांत दिया था इन्होंने. He also came with many other theories. Adam Smith, father of economics. Who is the father of Arthashastra? Chanakya. And the study says that Chanakya has copied it from Buddhist literature. There are theories that the Buddhist library was not destroyed by some other king. It was destroyed by the locals to block Buddhist influence. ऐसी कहानियां बहुत सारी. An inquiry into the nature and cause of wealth of nations. Then we know about this man, John Locke. We have done Essay Concerning Human Understanding, 1690. Tabula Rasa. We have done it. Then Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant deals with astronomy, philosophy, and idealism. Immanuel Kant. Astronomy, philosophy, idealism. He will inspire S.T. Coleridge. Samuel Taylor Coleridge सबसे ज़्यादा inspired था ऐसे. तो इनकी कोई बुक्स में नहीं जाना, ये तो प्योरली फिलोसफर्स हैं. देन वोल्टेयर supported independence, equality, equal opportunity, chances. इनकी फेमस लाइन है, I may not agree with your opinions, but I will make sure that I protect your rights to cast your opinions. हो सकता है मैं आपके विचारों से सहमत ना हूं, पर मैं आपके विचार प्रकट करने की आज़ादी की रक्षा अवश्य करूंगा. So I will defend your rights. मैं आपकी सुनूं या ना सुनूं, पर आपको बोलने से नहीं रोकूंगा, वो आपका अधिकार है. वोल्टेयर टॉकिंग अबाउट इक्वालिटी. ठीक है, डिड यू गेट इट? One of his famous quotation is that I may not agree what you say, but I will always protect your rights to speak. बोलने से आपको रोकूंगा नहीं. That's very important thing in democracy. Thomas Hobbes, famous book Leviathan, first book that deals with geopolitical study and landscape survey इसमें. 1653, Leviathan. As we are talking about overall enlightenment, that's why I'm mentioning him here. First man who focused on geopolitical study, landscape study. Anybody who knows the value of geopolitical study? Your geographical conditions govern your political conditions. आप राजस्थान में जाके बोलो आपको पानी मिलेगा घर घर, वो खुश हो जाएंगे. वहाँ पानी नहीं आता है, वहाँ मुद्दा है. लेकिन आप जाके गोवा में बोलोगे पानी ही पानी होगा, घर के बाहर समुद्र होगा, वो नहीं चाहिए. Geographical conditions, we are safe because of Himalaya. From north side we are sure कोई नहीं आ रहा है, आसान नहीं है. So our soldiers, they are stationed at some another border. Then cultural practices, cultural politics. So your first book है जिसमें landscape, geographical conditions and politics that is connected, right? So they are all dealing with overall intellectual development. This is why this age is also called the age of enlightenment. Now please remember this thing, 1658 coffee was introduced in London. 1658 coffee was introduced in London. Now, as coffee was introduced in London 1658, the reason behind this was Puritan age, ban of, yes, in border areas, the soldiers who are based in Kargil or in areas where it's -30, -40, they cannot survive without these things. They need something that can keep them warmer. Now Puritans banned it. What will you do if things are banned and there is nothing hot that you can drink in your chilling cold? So they found an alternate, and that was coffee. 1658 promoted as a healthy drink from China. A healthy drink from China. A healthy drink from China. I will make you write a complete quotation. Alexander Pope ने पूरा quotation लिखा है. How to drink coffee. Bend your head over it. Take the smell. And how it cures gouts. And it's good for your sore eyes. And how should you take it. पूरा एक paragraph आपको लिखवाऊंगा. Coffee कैसे पीनी चाहिए. A healthy drink from China. Why I'm talking about this? Coffee houses. This age is also called age of coffee houses. So now let's call it age of coffee houses. What was the need of having coffee houses? Yes, age of coffee houses. Just like the bars, आप दिल्ली में कल्चर देखोगे, वीकेंड्स पे लोग बैठे होते हैं, बार्स में बैठे होते हैं, बात कर रहे होते हैं, दे आर ड्रिंकिंग, दे आर टॉकिंग. इट वाज कॉफी एंड दे आर टॉकिंग. So there were many coffee clubs, many people, they would come out, they would sit with each other for hours and hours and they would talk intellectual things. Soon, some of these coffee houses became famous. Kuch coffee houses famous ho gaye. Great place to sit. And most of these people, as there was no internet, no light, they would just step out of their house and go to the coffee houses. So they formed groups. Whig club alag ban gaya, Tory club alag ban gaya, female coffee houses club alag ban gaye, literary clubs alag ban gaye. And this is how the coffee houses served as the platform of exchange of knowledge. Periodicals, magazines, लोग कॉपियाँ चेंज करते, तुमने क्या पढ़ा, लाओ ये पढ़ें वो पढ़ें. Everybody was a diplomat. हर आदमी अपने आप को political analyst समझता था, सब political expert थे. So remember this point. Coffee houses, coffee clubs provided them proper platforms to interact with each other in an age where looking intellectual, being intellectual was a fashion. Clear? समझ में आ गया? तो क्या क्या बोलते हैं? एज ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर, एज ऑफ कॉफी हाउसेज, एज ऑफ पीरियोडिकल्स, एज ऑफ मैगजीन, एज ऑफ एनलाइटनमेंट, एज ऑफ फैशन. दिस इज ऑल्सो द एज दे स्टार्टेड कॉपीइंग फ्रेंच स्टाइल फैशन. एज ऑफ फैशन. वैसे दिस विल बी लाइक इलैबोरेटेड टॉपिक, तो यहां ज्यादा नहीं जाएंगे, बट कोट, पहले इनके कोट बहुत लंबे होते थे, जो कोट है ना वो नीचे तक जाते थे, एंड दे वुड लाइक लुक लाइक जोकर्स, मॉडर्न डे जोकर स्टाइल. कोट्स शॉर्ट होने लगे, बूट्स छोटे होने लगे. पहले दे वुड हैव लॉन्ग बूट्स, एवरीबॉडी, फिर वो बूट्स थोड़े छोटे होने लगे. एंड हैट कल्चर यहाँ पे कॉपी हो गया. सो दे स्टार्टेड लुकिंग लाइक जेंटलमैन ड्रेस. एज ऑफ फैशन भी आप पढ़ सकते हो. इस पे फैशन पे अटैक करेगा अलेक्जेंडर पोप. He will talk about 18th century fashionable girls, taking Belinda as reference, and he will criticize this artificiality. Any questions related to this age? Anyone?
There was one bill also, I think, 1689 English bill. Just give us a constitution.
No idea. If you have more idea, let me know. 1689 में कोई बिल आया था.
इंग्लिश बिल आया था, उसमें ये होता सर, वो जो मोनार्की है उसको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से वो बदल जाएगा.
जयंत, अगर कुछ आया भी होगा तो इट्स नॉट दैट सीरियस, क्योंकि 1689 में जस्ट वो विलियम द थर्ड आया, उसने कोई नए रूल बना दिए होंगे कॉमन पीरियड बुक टाइप, तो वो इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, क्योंकि विलियम द थर्ड हिमसेल्फ इज नॉट एन इंपॉर्टेंट किंग. कोई बड़ा अमेंडमेंट नहीं माना जाएगा. ओवरऑल इफ यू टॉक अबाउट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तो जस्ट रिमेंबर 1215 मैग्ना कार्टा. अगर कोई आपको लंदन के बारे में पूछता है ना, इंग्लैंड के बारे में, कि इंग्लैंड का फर्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन 1215 मैग्ना कार्टा. And who is the first man who promulgated the code of law, rule book? King Ethelbert. अंशु बहुत बढ़िया. मैग्ना कार्टा ऐसे सबसे पहले फर्स्ट एवर किंग एथलबर्ट वो कोड ऑफ लॉ लेके आया था. वो तो 900 समथिंग में. कोड ऑफ लॉ that was by King Ethelbert. बहुत बढ़िया अंशु. Code of Law 1215 Magna Carta. इसलिए now the Magna Carta has become a term. If you use this reference word for rules, you can say that. जैसे suppose you are in my class and I want to tell you that the rules of my class, so I can say that this is the Magna Carta. Please don't forget that. Take it seriously. बस. Magna Carta of qualifying JRF, rule book of qualifying JRF. First of all, have faith. You can do it. सबसे बड़ी चीज तो ये, पहले खुद को बताओ कि हाँ मैं कर सकता हूँ. मन के हारे हार है, मन के जीते जीत. Any questions? Anybody? Now, age of Pope, it is called, but my point of view, that is a wrong way of studying it. Age of Dryden, age of Wordsworth. If students for TGT, PGT, they are reading like this, they can read. See, when somebody reads, so you can have a circle, age of Pope. But if you have a broader view, you can call it neoclassical age. If you have a broader view, you can take European reference, the neoclassical Renaissance in Europeans. So we believe in going for the broader one. Age of Pope नहीं पढ़ना है, ऐसा नहीं है. Because when you say age of Pope, You ignore Swift, स्टील, एडिसन, ये लोग कहाँ जाएंगे? स्टील, एडिसन के बिना तो कोई न्यूज़पेपर नहीं है, पीरियोडिकल्स नहीं है. स्विफ्ट के बिना तो प्रोज सटायर नहीं है. गलिवर्स ट्रेवल्स लिखा उसने, कैसे छोड़ सकते हैं? गलिवर्स ट्रेवल इज नॉट अ फनी बुक. One of the worst things that has done to Gulliver's Travel by the reader takes it as a lofty book. ये भी बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. गलिवर्स ट्रेवल्स के लोग पढ़ते हैं कि हाँ एक आदमी था, वो किसी आइलैंड पे गया, छोटे छोटे लोग थे, कॉमेडी को. नो, इट्स नॉट अ कॉमेडी एट ऑल. If you read it, na, he's actually criticizing mankind, insulting mankind, satirizing mankind. पूरी बुक में वो इंसानों को गालियां दे रहा है. Jonathan Swift, we can't ignore him. Dryden का cousin था. He was a cousin of Dryden. So Swift started writing poetries. Swift dedicated some poetries to John Dryden and asked his review. Dryden replied, cousin Swift, you will never be a poet. तो पोइट्री मत लिखा कर, तेरे बस की नहीं. और देखो प्रोज में उसने क्या किया है, प्रोज सटायर्स. सो व्हेन यू रीड लाइक दिस, समटाइम्स टीचर टीचेस, बट दैट्स नॉट अ राइट वे टू रीड. इंडिविजुअल ऑथर के बेस पे कभी मत पढ़ो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू से एज ऑफ शेक्सपियर, तो एज ऑफ शेक्सपियर हम नहीं समझ सकते until unless you know Christopher Marlowe. And if you do not know university wits, you have no idea of William Shakespeare. So that will be half knowledge. A little learning is a dangerous thing. Drink deep or taste not the Pyrene spring. किसने बोला है? Alexander Pope. इन्होंने बोला है, a little learning is a dangerous thing. Drink deep. या तो ढंग से पियो और taste not the Pyrene spring. और हल्का फुल्का मत करो. Little learning बर्बाद है. Anyway, so any questions? No? चलो, let's get back to the big man.